You know, have you noticed something different about the internet lately? For decades, it was simple, right? You had a question, you know exactly where to go. But that whole world, that familiar digital landscape, it's going through this massive seismic shift. And it's making some people wonder, are we watching the end of an entire era? Okay, let's get into it.
So here's a number that kind of helps explain what's going on. Almost half, 50% of all traffic on the internet isn't even human anymore. It's all automated bots. It's like this digital ghost in the machine, and it's completely changing the very fabric of the web. And that really brings up the central question here, doesn't it? With all these bots creating content, shaping what we see, are we, losing that real human-powered internet that we all grew up with? Let's dig in and see what that's all about.
All right, so to really understand where all this is going, we first have to take a look back at where we've been. For most of the internet's life, finding information boiled down to one really simple, really powerful idea.
Yep, you know what I'm talking about, the classic 10 blue links. That simple list was literally the front door to the web for billions of us. But it wasn't just, a way to find stuff. It was the engine for a huge advertising industry. We're talking over $100 billion just this year. And it was all built on one thing, getting you to click on those links. But now, now there's this new technology that's just ripping up the rulebook. Generative AI. It's completely changing what a search engine even is. We're moving away from that world of links and into a world of instant answers.
And this is a really fundamental shift in how things work. Think about it like this. A classic search engine, it's like a librarian. It points you to all the right books on the shelf. But an answer engine, powered by AI, it tries to be the book. It wants to read everything for you and just hand you a single, neat summary.
So here's what that actually looks like in the wild. This is Google's AI overview, what they call SGE. You see, instead of just a list of links, you get this big AI-generated summary right there at the top. And the goal is pretty clear, right? They want to give you the answers so fast, so completely that you never even have to leave the page.
And make no mistake, this is not just a Google thing. There's a whole new ecosystem of competitors popping up. You've got these AI-first tools like Perplexity, and even ChatGPT is getting in on the action, changing from just a chatbot to its own search provider. The race is definitely on.
But all this convenience, it comes with a pretty big price tag. I mean, getting a direct answer sounds amazing, right? But this whole shift is creating some serious problems for the websites and the creators that the AI is actually getting its information from in the first place.
And the data shows exactly what you'd expect to happen. Check this out. According to Pew Research, when one of those AI summaries shows up, the number of people who actually click on a link gets cut almost in half. People just get their answer and they're gone.
And that massive drop in clicks leads to the big question, perfectly summed up by digital consultant Jonathan Jones. How do people keep the lights on? Seriously, if all those websites that make the actual content, the blogs, the news sites, all of them, if they stop getting traffic, how do they pay the bills? This is the core economic dilemma of this new AI web. Okay, so beyond the money, there's another cost: accuracy. The really big problem with these answer engines is something called an AI hallucination. It's a technical term, but it basically just means the AI, it makes things up. It'll state something totally false, but with all the confidence in the world.
And we're not talking about small mistakes here. For example, AI has literally invented entire restaurants, complete with amazing detailed reviews. Only, the places don't actually exist. It's recommended code that doesn't work, and it's even been caught making up legal cases from thin air. So it begs the question, right? How much can you really trust that instant answer?
And it seems like the public is starting to catch on. Data from Pew Research shows that now a majority of people, we're talking 52%, are actually more concerned than they are excited about AI's role in our lives. I mean, that's a huge shift from just a couple of years back. The trust problem is getting real.
Okay, so if the old internet of links is on the ropes, what do? How do businesses and creators survive this? Well, the thing is, it's not about trying to fight the wave. It's about learning how to surf it. The game isn't over. It's just evolving.
But here's the weird twist in all this. Even with clicks going down, the search advertising industry is still worth over $100 billion. And get this, it's still growing. That tells you something really important. Even though AI is changing how we find things, the basic need to be found, that hasn't gone anywhere.
So to survive, you gotta play by a new set of rules. First up is this idea of semantic SEO. It's not about just jamming keywords in anymore. It's about creating content that's optimized for meaning and context, so the AI really understands what you're talking about. Second, you have to build human trust, prove your expertise. And third, and this might be the biggest one, you've got to showcase the one thing AI can't do: real, actual, first-hand experience.
And this really gets to the core of the new strategy. I mean, think about it. If you need to fix a leaky toilet, who are you going to trust? Some generic AI summary? Or a real plumber who's showing you step by step with their own hands on camera? Or who can tell you what it's really like to travel alone in a foreign country? It's not going to be a bot. It's going to be a person who's actually been there and done that. That genuine, sometimes messy human experience, that's becoming the most valuable currency on the web.
So all of this, it brings us to this huge digital crossroads. The changes we're seeing, they aren't just about technology. They're about a fundamental choice we have to make about the kind of internet we really want for the future.
You know, there's this concept called the dead internet theory, and its supporters have been warning about this for a while. They basically argue that we've traded the wild, infinite, sometimes weird web for a corporate-controlled loop. A sanitized, predictable place where a few big companies call all the shots. And our curiosity is guided by algorithms, not by our own exploration.
And that leads to one last really critical question. As AI becomes the main author of what we see online, as it summarizes our knowledge and answers our questions for us, we have to ask, who's actually in control here? Who gets to write the future and decide what information shapes our reality? It's definitely something to think about.